All right, you guys, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us for today's master class. My name is Kylie Skupik. I am a dedicated account manager here at SkySlope, and I'm going to be walking you through a few topics today, including just a little bit about SkySlope in general and buyer files. So when we talk about buyer files, we know that obviously when you guys are representing a buyer, you have some documents that you've filled out to establish a relationship with that buyer, but you haven't made an offer on a home. You're still looking, you're in the process, but you need to be able to store those documents safely and securely within SkySlope to allow you to keep track of all of that and have it still manageable in an easy fashion. So we are going to walk through just a very quick and efficient way for you guys to establish that relationship, store those files, manage those files prior to actually creating a transaction within SkySlope, because you have yet to make that offer. So first thing we're going to do, this is my demo account. So as an agent, this is what my demo account looks like. And where we're going to go to create that buyer file is going to be within the working documents section. Okay, now here within the working documents section, that first tab is the personal doc. So this is where we're going to house that buyer file. So once again, just as a recap refresher on the personal docs, those are only viewable and accessible to you. So it's kind of like your personal private SkySlope Dropbox. So nobody else will be able to view these documents. So it'll just be proprietary to yourself. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and create a new folder. Now there's a couple ways that you can name this. You can do it by the property, or obviously you don't have a property address yet, but if you have maybe a file system or anything like that, you can utilize that. For this, I'm going to use the buyer's actual name. Go ahead and create a file for Joe Beach. Okay, that's my buyer that I'm working with, and we're going to hit save. So it's created that folder for Joe Beach. And once again, unlimited working space here within the working docs. So you can create as many of these folders as you like. So obviously we're going to say, or you can see that this folder is empty. So here's Joe Beach's file. This is where we can house any and all documents that are relevant to my buyer. So whether it's, like I said, those relationship documents that you have, if there are any internal documents, maybe like a contact folder, or anything like that that you want to be able to save in here, you can save. You can upload documents by just selecting upload, and you'll be able to upload those documents just like you would a normal document here. So once we have a house, Joe Beach and I, we've been going around, he found a house that he wants to make an offer on. Well, it's time to go ahead and formulate some of those offer docs. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump right in for our Zip Forms users. We have that Zip Forms integration, which is awesome. We're going to go right to that Zip Forms tab, and we're going to work on creating an offer for his house. So we're going to create that transaction in Zip Forms. Once again, this is just in the offering stage. Our offer has not been accepted yet. So that's why we're not creating it in SkySlope yet, because it's not ready for that final draft of our offer actually being accepted. So I'm going to create a transaction. All right, I'm going to title it as the address here. Fill out all this information. All right, so once I have that filled out, these are the transaction details. This is the minimum required information that you need in order to create a transaction within Zip Forms. So we have that here for us. We're going to go ahead and hit create. Uh-oh. Now, I do want to warn you guys, Zip Forms itself is having a few issues. I was testing this out prior to our little demo here, so it's not uploading the documents automatically for us. I apologize. Typically, it would default to have some documents already populated. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to try and see if I can add a form here. So I'm going to add the cover sheet, and I'm also going to add that buyer-seller agreement. Let's see if it works for me. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so we've got that cover sheet. I'm going to fill out that cover sheet because that's super helpful. It's going to help us populate that information. If this offer gets accepted and we have that cover sheet filled out, it's going to help us populate that information right into our SkySlope profile for us, so less data entry for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and add his information into here. Street address that we'll say his current street address is 123 Main Street, All right, bear with me while I'm going and adding all of this information for you guys. I know this part's a little boring for you, but we'll get all this in here. So we're adding all of that contact information for our buyer. Perfect. So once we have all of that filled out, and we're ready to go ahead and save that here, we are going to go ahead and just click the Save button. Awesome. So that's now saved. We can go back. That's been updated here within SkySlope as well. So we've got that cover sheet filled out. And once so we've got that all taken care of. So now we need to send our document out for signature. So say we need to get that seller agreement signed by Joe. Now that we're kind of moving forward through the process, we can do that right here within DigiSign, but just selecting that document that we want him to go ahead and sign and selecting the DigiSign offer right here, or button right here. Now, just to kind of refresh our mind, we have yet to create an actual transaction in SkySlope yet. So we aren't going to associate it with any property because we're just still in the offer phase. We're hoping that offer gets accepted, but we're not 100% sure if it is. There's a couple different offers in there. We're just waiting for some information back. So at this time, we are going to select no property. All right, so we've got our document all here ready to go. We're going to go forward with the next step. At this time, for demo purposes, I am just going to have myself as the only one signing. I'm the agent. You can add a new recipient, so obviously we would add in Joe if there was information that he needed to sign as well, then we would add him in here by clicking new recipient and filling out this information here. But for demo, it's just going to be myself as the agent signing this document. So here's this document. It has populated that information for me because we created that transaction within Zip Forms. So that's super helpful. We've got that all here. Now, just to kind of show you real quick, because this is not a DigiSign tutorial. That's next week. That's going to be awesome. But we're going to go ahead and just throw in a couple initials here just to show, just to kind of show you how it works. So I will do this here. And we'll throw in a random signature. Oops. All right, and we'll do a signature here. Now, obviously, this would be Joe's signature, but just to show you, walk you through and show you how it works, we're going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and send. Now, if this was a transaction created in SkySlope, it would default to have the property address as a subject title. But since we're doing no property, this is going to be defaulting to being blank. So we'll do buyer agreement. All right. So once we've got that all, and you can customize that however you'd like, I'm going to go ahead and send for signatures. DigiSign's telling me, woohoo, that was easy. Your document was sent successfully, but it's also recognizing that I'm the one that actually needs to sign. So it's giving me that option to sign later or sign now. I'm going to go ahead and sign now to show you guys what it looks like when you send a document in DigiSign and do not associate it with a property. So I'll pick my signature here. I'm going to walk through, add those initials here. Add my signature. All right, we're ready to submit. So when you do not associate a document in DigiSign with a property, that completed document is going to go back into your personal docs, which is where we originally created that buyer property folder. Now, if it was associated with the property, that completed copy would automatically be uploaded right into the property file. But since we're just still in that offer phase, once again, we're just trying to house all of everything, keep it all together, keep it all organized, patiently awaiting that our offer to get accepted and still having it all within the SkySlope platform. That is why we're utilizing this working document. So I'm going to go back into my working documents here. As you can see right here, here's that buyer-seller agreement that has been completed through DigiSign. So what I want to do is I want to keep that completed document in my Joe Beach file. I want to keep it all together for myself. So I'm going to select that document and I'm going to move it to my Joe Beach folder. So now when we're in the Joe Beach folder, if you go here, you can see we have that seller agreement that's all been signed. It's all beautiful. And then we've got that all ready for us there, patiently waiting that offer to be accepted. Now, once our offer has accepted, we've received word, we're good to go, we're ready to create that transaction, we're super excited, then that's when we're going to keep those documents here in that Joe Beach file, but we're going to go ahead and create that transaction for him now. All right, so it's going to offer to search for the address. So I'm going to do 845 Saratoga Street. Here we go. It's offering to extract that information from Google or for ZipForms Plus, which is what we want to pull from because we already entered a lot of the information into that cover sheet for us. So it's going to really help us extract that data and just save us a lot of time in data entry. So I'm going to select ZipForms. So it's letting us know, hey, ZipForms successfully imported 7 fields for you, which is awesome because that's just less data entry for you guys. If we had that MLS number, we could enter that at this time as well. I'm going to go ahead and just enter in a little random number for us. This is also where we're going to select our checklist type. So this is just a regular resale. We'll do residential transaction here. Okay, so now we're looking through, we're making sure we're filling out any other required information that's with that asterisk there. So this is a sale. All right, and our sale price, we'll go ahead and enter that in right now. And our closing date is scheduled to close. We're gonna do a 30-day close on this one. So we'll schedule it here. And our acceptance date, we just got our offer accepted today. So now I have all that information filled out. I'm ready to move on to that next step. And right now we're gonna enter in our seller's information. All right, we're gonna hit save. You can see it already entered in our purchaser information, extracting that data from ZipForms, which is super helpful. Now we're entering in that title information. And what's great too, you guys, is you can save information in your contacts, and when you save it in your contacts, you can just search your contacts here. If you use a same company multiple times, if you have like a favorite that you always like to go to, you can save them in your contacts and just search the contacts, and then it'll add that information in for you as well. All right, thanks for bearing with me on this data entry side. I know it's a little gruesome. All right. Perfect. So now we have all of that information in here. It's all ready. We're ready to submit. It's now going to go ahead and ask us to verify that commissions. So we're going to do a 3% commission on this. E-commissions is a vendor that we offer. You're able to utilize that if your brokerage allows. I'm going to go ahead and say no, not now. So now I have my checklist here. So I've got some documents that I need to go ahead and add into this. But I also want to take all of those documents that I have in my personal docs and add them into this file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my personal docs here. I'm going to go into that Joe Beach folder. You guys will probably have a lot more files and paperwork here than I do for the demo, but I'm going to select those, or if you had multiple, you could always select all, and I'm going to assign those to a property. Here's my pending one that I have open right here. I'm going to click Assign. Now what that just did, that folder, it took those documents, so you are able to delete that folder at this time if you'd like. That way you don't have to have a bunch of names in here that are no longer relevant in your working docs, because now we have that active transaction. So if we go into our managed transactions here, we go into our pending, Now, if you take a look in our Documents tab, that buyer-seller agreement that was originally in my working docs is now in that active transaction folder. So we're able to go ahead and assign that to a checklist item. If we need to split it, we can split it. If we want to rename it, we can rename it. But now we have all of those documents that we were working with prior to our offer being accepted are now in our active transaction folder, and you're able to organize those and attach those to the checklist. So that covers all of our topics today here in the master class. So that is what today's topic is. I'm going to hang around for about a minute or two to answer any questions. That way we can go ahead and answer any that come through. If you don't have any questions, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Have a fantastic Wednesday and happy sky sloping.